But anyways, it seems like the institutions focus a lot on information in the mind, but because they're not teaching about spiritual things, even when you sense information in the spirit that gets translated by your mind, you don't know it's a spiritual thing. Once you have clarity of how to read things in the spirit, it just opens your whole world up to the whole bunch of knowledge. The Bible starts making sense because language has its limitations, meaning you have to understand the context and the context of the context, which comes by reading the Bible in its entirety, by thinking about the characters in relation to, like I said, context of the society, of a human being, of how we function as human beings, and how they probably would have functioned as human beings. And you can do that by getting a sense of spiritual things, spiritual ideas, to create this idea in your mind of their thought processes, to figure out what the stories and information means. And if you're going to function in a way where you're saying, is it scientific? What are your checks and balances? What are your tests? It is like literally the most inefficient, cumbersome way of learning things. And it even, like, that system blocks you from just learning. Even though it does have its functionality, it's not the only way of learning, and also it has a lot of big limitations. It's like somebody who wants to create music, right? Now, music being something creative, obviously, you can learn the basics of understanding your harmonies, your melodies, your rhythm, those kind of things, your different notes. But if I have to tell you that, hey, in order to be a musician, or in order to understand music and create beautiful music, you've got to read textbooks upon textbooks of historical artists and go through all of that research and study. And first of all, if you do research the stuff, you will eventually get a sense of the spirit that these guys were thinking, because they are human. You very quickly realize that the knowledge already exists in the spirit. And the whole point of learning is to learn what that spirit is, and then you have an understanding even before of the entirety, and you start to learn things very quick with that kind of spiritual understanding. But because it's not identified and acknowledged and taught in general, it's like kind of hidden that is the spirit. It kind of like puts a spanner in the works of people's understanding. So in general in life, when you have to figure it out on your own, you start calling it things like it's a vibe, it's an energy. But you're not going to see that like in an academic article, because you're being stopped from understanding what that is.